Rip Wilson.
Hello, comrade. Are you reporting from the Antifa command and control bunker?
Okay, so Donald Trump has decided that the left is now illegal.
The left.
How does that work exactly?
It doesn't work. Everybody should look at it through two contextual lenses. One, it's all Fox bait bullshit.
Right.
And two, it's anything to stop the fact that people are beginning to understand that he's going to shut down the government this week to hide the Epstein files.
We are hurtling towards a government shutdown. Could happen as soon as Tuesday night at midnight. Could also not happen. Donald Trump had a meeting with Jeffries and Schumer. He canceled it. Then, in his infinite wisdom, he remade it. Art of the deal. Why cancel it and then say they can, supposedly, this was reported, he said they can fuck off.
Look, my take on it has always been there's no deal to be made with these people.
Right.
Schumer and Jeffries both think that they're going to protect people's health care by making a deal that keeps the ACA subsidies in place. If they have
Which Republicans also want, FYI.
Of course they do. Of course they do. But here's the thing. If they don't understand that funding the CR continues to fund all of Trump's other Project 2025 evils, and that Trump has consistently violated the law and canceled or changed the funding levels or reassigned the funding of
pocket rescinded.
Right. Of congressionally appropriated and authorized expenditures over and over again. And this isn't like Rick Wilson's libtard opinion. This is in the Constitution how
Brendan
it works.
Buck. Pocket rescission in August. Piece in the New York Times. Reading it today. Yeah.
Here's what I think Trump would do. He would go into the Jeffries and Schumer and say, well, fine. All right. I'll keep the ACA stuff in. And then literally decide, oh, well, the blue states are in rebellion, so I'm canceling their part of the ACA preservation. Right. If they don't think that this is what this guy's going to do, or some similarly destructive, evil, crappy thing, then they should not be in the offices they hold right now.
Correct. Now, I want to go back to the left being illegal. So this is like another one of these Donald Trumpy proclamations that has no legal anything to it.
Nope.
But he desperately wants to investigate George Soros and also Reid Hoffman, who is so afraid of being investigated by Donald Trump, he no longer even lives in this country.
Molly, Donald Trump understands one important thing. That there is no one in D.C. who is going to stop him. No one. The Supreme Court's not going to stop him.
Certainly
Republicans
not.
in the House aren't going to stop him. John Thune, that wet mattress, isn't going to stop him.
Well, today on the Sunday shows, when Welker said, do you think it's okay that Trump sends troops into cities, thus violating the Posse Comitatus Act? Thune says,
meh. What will stop him, and the only thing that's going to stop him, is losing the House. I don't buy the argument that Trump wants to lose the House so he can be a martyr again.
No, absolutely not.
What will stop him is losing the House. Now, the reason we're not going to get a CR this week is that Mike Johnson cannot have the House in session without having, since Grijalva won in Arizona, he cannot have the House in session without the discharge vote happening.
So he would swear in. There's been a new seat.
Yep.
There's been a Democrat elected. Now Democrats have the numbers to pass this Epstein bill that would, in fact, make it so.
And by the way, on Friday, I spoke to somebody in the Republican political orbit that expressed to me the level of investment in the White House of panic in this is through the roof. There's been some reporting on it, but the way it was described to me of this person was, this is an all hands on deck, whole of government effort to stop this. They're doing everything they can.
And that's why the House is out of session.
Yes. I was also told he may declare this information to be classified to prevent its release next week. So we'll see if he does that. I don't think it works for him the way he thinks it works. The more he does this, the more people go, what is in this thing? Is it a dead girl or a live boy or a bunch of goats? What is it?
I mean, it is the Streisand effect, right? That you're
Absolutely.
gonna hide something by making such a big deal that everyone's gonna be interested in it. I thought Mike Johnson had said he might not seat that congresswoman.
He has already said he won't seat her, even though she won the race by almost 40 points.
Right.
He's
Doesn't
already said he
matter.
won't seat her because of reasons.
Right.
He doesn't have a reason. He's just saying he won't do it. But he recognizes now that the government will shut down, and no one's going to say. By the way, the Republican line is they're trying to give illegals health care and free
I
money.
know.
Nobody's going to buy it. Nobody buys
Is
it.
nobody gonna buy it? Because I feel like a shutdown is a messaging war.
Here's the big part of it. If the economy was booming and the government shut down, everyone would go, damn, man, that might throw things off track. But Trump has already driven the economy into the ditch. We're not reporting the inflation statistics because do you think it's because they're great or terrible? We're not reporting unemployment
Or
statistics anymore
because
because
Trump
they suck.
fired the head.
Right. Right.
Yes, because they were
And this
bad.
weird guy that he replaced him with is like, no, we're just not going to report anything.
Yeah.
We're just going to stop. We're not doing it anymore.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But the left is illegal.
Right. Game this out with me.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna meet with Trump also does want a bailout for farmers who are being hurt by his tariffs.
You know what? Honest to God, Democrats, they do not understand this yet. You notice all these articles, these farmers like, our markets have collapsed. We're going to lose our farms. We're in economic calamity. Oh, no. What was the reason for that? Who caused that? What single individual caused that? And I got to tell you something. If Jeffries and Schumer walk in there without a demand to Trump, yeah, we'll pass relief for farmers, undo the tariffs right now. Right now. Give Congress back the power to do its tariffs and to set tariffs right now. They should not negotiate with a terrorist. He is a terrorist. They don't understand this rule. We've seen a lot of MAGA in the last week to 10 days, like trying to whip up this frenzy of Antifa in Portland. We must invade the city. Total war. I was in Portland. Renee and I were in Portland in January, and the charming coffee shops and boutiques downtown did not strike me as Mogadishu circa 1991. But it's a sign of how desperate they are and how bad Trump's political standing is right now. He needs to shake the tree. He needs to shake things up and do something so that people don't every day focus on how bad the economy is. And by the way, Democrats, if they do end up in this messaging war about the shutdown and farmers, there's a very simple answer. Have the day you voted for. We tried to help you. Donald Trump is the one who did this to you. Donald Trump is the one who did this to you. Not a single Democrat set a tariff that has screwed American farmers and ag. Not a single Democrat set those tariffs. Not a single Democrat
canceled the foreign aid.
Right. Not a single
with
Democrat
the pocket rescission.
Killed the USAID budget, which paid American farmers an awful lot of money every year to help feed impoverished people around the world. Not a single one. So, I mean, I wish we could declare stupidity to be illegal, but we clearly cannot in this country. And what Trump has done is unbelievably stupid. And the harm that is being done to these farmers, look, the Democrats have this healthcare is the only thing that matters. They think it's the one sharp knife in the entire the drawer.
But people hate tariffs. People
hate it, and they feel it, and it's hurting them every single day.
Yeah.
And if you don't put the tariffs onto Trump,
then
the White House will say,
well,
we didn't set those tariffs. We didn't cause China to cancel the soybean contracts.
Right.
Really?
No, it's true.
You're not going to win back a lot of MAGA voters if you're for the Democrats, by the way, by saying, "Oh, poor babies, we'll fix the problem Donald Trump caused for you. Love us now." Because you know what they'll do? The second they do it, they're like, "Well, I didn't want to have them pedophiles bail my farm out, but I had to."
Right. I just wonder how you make a deal with a terrorist, right? I mean, that's the question.
don't.
How do you make a deal with someone will I mean, this is the problem that all of our allies are having too. How do you make a deal with a country you can't trust?
Listen, Schumer and Jeffries, like Schumer had a terrible tweet on Sunday. It was like, "Oh, Donald Trump's sending troops to Portland. Maybe focus on preserving healthcare instead." It's so tone deaf. It's so tone deaf.
Well, you don't have to choose, right?
No, you don't. It's not an either or. They should walk in that room and say, "F you, either undo the tariffs right now, or you get no aid for your farmers." And the Republicans in these red states whose people depend on Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and ACA, they're going to be coming to you, pal, not us. We didn't cut it. We ain't voting for it. You're the one who cut those things. You're the one who has had the stated desire from the very beginning of your first campaign in 2016 to burn the ACA to the ground.
Right.
Ain't us.
Right. No, it's true. And Trump has said as much. He
The
was
other thing, Molly,
mad.
the other thing you mentioned is like, how do you negotiate with the terrorists? How do you negotiate with a person whose senior aide, Stephen Miller, is calling all Democrats part of a global terrorist effort to destroy America? How do you negotiate with a White House that put out a hit list of Democratic leaders
Yeah.
this week? A hit list that MAGA has decided is a hit list. How do you negotiate with people who say that you are terrorists, traitors, murderers, pedophiles, criminals, globalist shills, whatever the phrase you want to pick? They're going to use it on you. You don't negotiate with those people. There can be only one outcome if you negotiate with them, is that they will betray you, they will screw you over, they will put you in the ground. And God forbid, I know as an ex-Republican, a lot of Democrats are like, well, we can win on policy, sir.
No, you can't. Yeah.
You can't.
I mean, at least Jeffries and Schumer are aligned that they both want,
right,
which they have, that they were not in March. So if anything, we have that. But it's more like, I just think they can't explain it in a way that, if you say tariffs, we want you to end the tariffs and we'll give you the bailout, that makes a lot of sense versus like a 25-line soliloquy on healthcare and premiums. I'm not sure people understand premiums.
No, they don't. Of course, it's a classic Democratic bank shot problem.
Yeah.
Well, they'll see their bill rise and they'll understand that if we had negotiated a CR with these provisions, they will never do that. Voters will never do that. In fact, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this. I want voters to suffer right now. I want them to experience the pain of Donald Trump's mistakes. Well, Democrats should not relieve Donald Trump of the political burden he has placed on the Republican Party. They should not save him. They're going to save him.
And that's why a lot of Republicans want those subsidies. And that's why, the problem with the 2024 cycle was you would say to voters, Trump wants to take this stuff away. And they'd say, no, he didn't last time.
Right.
Right. So if he didn't do it last time, why would he do it this time? And that created a lot of incentive structure for Trump.
The other thing that Democrats, if they vote for the CR, I know it's only a 7-week CR, right?
Right.
If they have this illusion that we'll fight the fight later, that's 7 more weeks of Stephen Miller's secret police forces being in our streets funded fully. That's 7 more weeks of Russell Vought running the Project 2025 agenda. That's 7 more weeks of Brendan Carr trying to shut down free speech with broadcast networks. That's 7 more weeks of Donald Trump deploying Pete Hegseth to drag 400 generals into a room for whatever mysterious goddamn reason. That's 7 more weeks of Donald Trump burning down the economy. They're if they relieve him of the pain he's going to cause American voters, they are fools writ large.
But if we hurtle into a shutdown, which is very possible, then you have a question of who can withstand the most pain.
The Democrats are in the minority.
Right.
They don't have any responsibilities in Washington. The White House is controlled by MAGA. The House is controlled by MAGA. The Senate is controlled by MAGA. The Supreme Court is controlled by MAGA. Nobody thinks the Democrats can do shit about fuck right now, Molly. So they might as well just say, let it burn. It's all on you, Donald.
But eventually, someone's going to, so Russ Vought has this memo that he's going to fire everybody in the world.
Yeah. Let him do it. Let him do it. Let them do it. It will hasten the economic collapse into a massive recession. We're already teetering on it. It will hasten the economic collapse that Donald Trump owns lock, stock, and barrel. He has done this to us. There's been zero Democratic voice or role in designing this economic calamity. And this is where Trump's own arrogance, it will doom him. I'm in charge of everything. I run everything. No one can do anything without me and my permission. Okay. You're right, boss. That's what you did, Haas. You're right. You burned it all down. By the way, the idea that voters will reward Democrats for being responsible leaders.
Right. That's never happened ever. Right. That's...
Yeah, never.
That's... But
never in the history of ever.
Right. And that's true. And I do think Yeah, voters will never reward that kind of behavior. So you could get into a shutdown and you think eventually Trump will cave because he has historically caved.
The problem is the longer we're shut down, now the one upside for Trump in a shutdown is the longer we're in a shutdown, he will just say, "Can't release the Epstein files. So sorry, guys. We're in a
Right,
shutdown."
right.
That's the only upside for Trump. And it should tell you everything about this, that they understand this very intimately. They get the political delaying factor that this will cause.
And you have voting in New Jersey, not New Jersey yet, but it's
Virginia,
coming.
Virginia and
Virginia
New Jersey will
already
be
early
here.
voting
Virginia's and New Jersey, I think, is next Tuesday,
soon.
Wednesday, somewhere. Yeah, soon.
Soon. I mean, how does that factor?
Well, look, in New Jersey, I think Cheryl's in pretty good shape. In Virginia, the Republican candidate is historically bad,
Yes.
and that has caused a lot of
Winsome
panic.
Sears. Yes.
When the Republicans picked Winsome Sears, they weren't sending their best.
Yes. That is, she's really up there with the
But
Republican.
it proves that point that it's really hard for MAGA to scale when it's not Donald Trump
We've been talking about
in a deep red state or district.
We have been talking about MAGA scaling for we've been doing this
Like
for
10
a
years.
fucking decade. Yeah. And it's so sad, but it is true. We've gotten so old. As much as Trumpism is terrifying at this moment,
Mhm.
there have been so many losses that I don't think people have. I mean, I just want for 2 seconds because I was on TV earlier and the block before me, there was like a reporter, White House reporter who came from the Caller who was notching through all of Trump's wins. And and maybe he'll go to Portland, but like he didn't go to Chicago. What he did in LA was considered illegal. I know he doesn't care about illegal, but it was. He lost on the Kimmel fight, right? Lost against Sinclair,
Yep.
who, if there ever were a group that wanted to
The best for Donald Trump, it would be
right,
Sinclair.
Sinclair. Okay, so these are already 3 big losses. Then, I mean, there's been, in court again and again, except when it comes to the Supreme Court because they're his buddies. But I mean, he has really, this has not been the cakewalk he plays
No.
it to be.
No, Molly, look, I think this is really important to understand. Donald Trump is a historically unpopular president.
Yeah.
About a third of America loves Donald Trump with the fire of a billion suns. The rest of America is on a scale somewhere between disappointment, dislike, and would not piss on him if he was on fire. This
Right.
is not a popular president. His numbers are in the mid 30s, now creeping toward the low 30s. His numbers on the most important leadership valence right now, the economy, are insanely underwater. He's 20 to 27 points underwater on various economic scoring things like the tariffs, like inflation, like prices, like jobs. No one believes in the economic vision that Donald Trump has created, including a majority of Republicans.
Yeah.
They understand that he is an incompetent. The craziness was always excused in the past, but now you can't excuse it anymore. You can't pretend it doesn't exist anymore. You can't pretend it doesn't have a direct and immediate impact anymore, because it does.
Rick Wilson.
Molly Jong-Fast.